Today we're going to look at the Agata Pativinaya Sutta 2 from Anguttara 5.162. This is the second discourse on removing resentment. Okay? Agata means resentment. We can refer to any kind of negative emotion actually. You notice the word Vinaya is quite familiar, right? Vinaya refers to the monastic rules. Vinaya comes from two words. Vi is the prefix meaning away. Naya means to take away. So Vinaya, like the precepts, they take away negative things from us, some things that trouble us, that make us impure and so on. That's what the precepts are about. Okay? We should not see the precepts as something that we must do as a ritual. Okay? It's not like that. You can call the precepts, the 5 precepts which we just recited, as the rules of the quality of life quality. You know? If you want to really be happy in the society, number one, we should respect life, right? That's what first precept is about. It's not just about not killing, it means respect life, because all beings want to be happy. Number two, we should respect the property of others, what belongs to others. That's why the second precept is not taking away things not given, because those things bring happiness to people. The third precept about sexual misconduct is about personal freedom. People have the right to say no, so they can move freely, they can take care of their body in a healthy way. The fourth precept is about truth, right? So all these things must be true so that we can practice it. And the last one is not taking drugs and drinks so that our minds are clear. So this last precept is very important because it prepares us for the next Buddhist training, that is mental training of the mind. So that our minds are peaceful, clear, then we're able to solve problems, we understand ourselves, because the mind is the most valuable thing that we have. And Buddhism is a very mind-centered religion. Buddhism talks a lot about the mind. Because whatever problems we have, all have to do with the mind, right? So if we understand the mind, we understand everything. And when we talk about the mind, it also means something internal, something inside. Okay? So this idea of something internal is very important in Buddhism. The answer is not out there. You know, you see those. Last time there was a TV series called The X-Files. They said the truth is out there. And they never found the truth anyway. Until the series ended, so still didn't find the truth out there. It's always out there. You never find it. The truth is in here, says the Buddha. You know, there are many words, you know, ajatta, for example, it means internal. What does it mean, internal? We see the world outside through our own minds. We create our own world through the 5 senses, right? We create the world of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Whatever we see, whatever we experience, that is our world. And the most important one is the 6th sense, the mind. The mind is what tells us a story, what's going on, you know. And that's why we come to today's topic, no? Why do we feel unhappy? Why do we feel pain? Because of the mind, right? But here again, remember, in the suttas, the Buddha talks about 2 kinds of pain. Remember what are the 2 kinds of pain? Bodily pain and mental pain. Okay, here there's a very nice little mantra you should remember. Pain is natural, suffering is optional. I think you can remember that helpful saying. Pain is natural, suffering is optional. That means suffering you can choose not to suffer, but pain you can't. Let's say if I fell on the floor, of course I'll feel pain, right? If I sit too long, if you sit too long, so you feel pain. That's the nature of the body, because we are 4 elements. We can't choose not to feel pain. However, human beings are so developed that we can actually not let the pain trouble us, right? If you enjoy doing something, you find, although it's hard work, you don't mind doing it. Another meaning of this statement is that many of the pain are created by us. Let's say, for example, somebody said something bad to you, We are taught to simply let go. Let go here means what? Let go of the negative emotion. Someone said something bad to us. It's just words. It's this person's opinion. But if you think about it, you get upset. Why did you get upset? Okay, here is an example. Another Dhammapada verse helps us to understand this. This Dhammapada verse says, if you do not have a wound in your hand, if you have no cut in your hand, you can carry poison. Another interesting saying, eh? You can carry poison, it doesn't hurt you. But if there's a wound there, you're in trouble. Okay? So we have this, what are called emotional wounds. Right? So you've got bodily wounds, but emotional wounds you can't see. Emotional wounds mean some things in the past that has hurt us. So somebody says something today, and then we recall that hurt, and then we start getting upset. Now that is where you add on to the suffering. We create the suffering ourselves. That's the meaning. No? Now, if we create the suffering ourselves, that means we can stop it ourselves. Now, here another simple story some we have heard before. Let's say somebody says something bad to you in the office. Someone says something bad to you, and you get very angry, but you can't do anything about this person. So you have 10 other friends, and you tell all these friends, you invite them, have nice makan. The idea is to complain. You tell your friend, oh, this person did this, like that. And you tell 10 of your friends, you repeat the same painful story 10 times. And how many times do you suffer now? 11 times. Right? You see the point here now? So if you repeat this story, that means you're thinking about this negative thought. So this person who's causing you suffering has come into your head and is following you wherever you go, is controlling your life. That is not very good, isn't it? That is why in Buddhism we talk about metta, loving kindness, letting go. People hurt us, doesn't matter. We can't get hurt if we don't want to be hurt. Someone scolded the Buddha once. I can't remember whether this is in the Sutta or not, but it's a very interesting story. Someone scolded the Buddha. Then the Buddha kept very quiet, The Buddha didn't say anything. Then this man felt rather strange. He said, how come I scold you, you didn't get angry? You see, you notice when people are very angry, they scold you. It's a very good time to learn Buddhism, You look at their face, how do they look? Ugly, right? Actually, an easy way, you carry a mirror, The moment they come to you and scold you, hold the mirror like that, mirror of the Dhamma. They look inside, they see their face is really ugly. I think they'll be shocked, they won't get angry, Or they'll think twice about getting angry the next time. But when they get angry, they look at you in the eye. Why? Because they are waiting for you also to look ugly and angry like them. Then they feel happy. Mutually destructive emotion. It's not a very wise thing to do, right? So here, the Buddha was very calm. This man was raving and very angry. They asked the Buddha, how come you're not angry? Then the Buddha used this analogy. He says, okay, if you give me something and I don't accept it, who does it belong to? It still belongs to you, right? So you give me the scolding and I don't want it. So it remains with you. So this man thought about it. He said, yeah, that's very true, right? So people can't hurt you unless you allow them to hurt you. Now there are many other practices in Buddhist meditation training. Another way is simply notice it as sound. It's just sound. Source of sound is the ear door. So you just say sound. It doesn't bother you. Right? Once you follow the conversation, you follow the words, you start adding it, you start telling stories, then you get hurt. So in meditation, we are taught to just listen to the sound. That's all it is. Objectively, sound. You scold the cat doesn't understand you. Although some cats are intelligent, my cat talk back to me. But generally, they can't understand what you're saying. Or someone scolds you in Japanese. If you don't know Japanese, it doesn't matter. You don't get upset, right? So there you are. You can take charge. In this sutta, there are 5 ways to overcome anger, negative emotion. Okay, let's look at some of these ways. These are all reflections. A very simple reflection you can use anytime you want. Or maybe somebody get upset and then you say, okay, let me teach you something I learned from the sutta. Nowadays in Singapore, in the last 10 years, visiting psychologists, psychiatrists is quite acceptable, even fashionable. But you pay a lot, You pay a lot of money for one session. Why waste your money when you can study the sutta, be happy even before the problems come? In fact, Buddhists are problem people. First noble truth, problems. Let me redefine the first noble truth a bit. Problems help us to know ourselves better. Right? We think of the first noble truth as suffering, right? But if you really understand it, you explain it. Why did the Buddha put suffering as number one? When we suffer, that means we can learn something about ourselves. Something is not right. That is why we are suffering. Remember, suffering is optional. Right? The Buddha didn't come to the world to teach you how to get rid of headaches, or you fall down, how to get rid of the pain. You can easily buy medicine for that. The Buddha is teaching us how to overcome mental pain, the pain that we carry with us again and again and through many lives. So it's this mind that can train ourselves to get out of the pain. Okay? So let's look at the first one, page 118. No? Is the paging same, correct? Then the Venerable Sariputta addressed the monks. Awuso, awuso. Then the monks replied, awuso, to the Venerable Sariputta in assent. The Venerable Sariputta said this. So this teaching is given by the Buddha's right-hand monk. Okay? Sariputta. Awuso means friend or brother, depends who's talking. Like the monks address each other as awuso. It's a common a term used between people of the same level. Okay? Awuso, there are these 5 ways of removing resentment, so that resentment that has arisen in a monk, here a monk can refer to anyone, should be removed completely. You see, when you look at the word monk in the suttas, the Buddha used the word monk because most of his audience are monks. But the commentaries, the teachings that explain the suttas tell us the word monks refer to monks, nuns, laymen, laywomen, whoever are present in the audience. Okay? Because the monks are, the majority are monks, so we see the word monks here. So don't say that, this is only for teaching for monks, and so we don't have to keep precepts. Not like that, yeah? Because, for example, this teaching is found in Anguttara Nikaya. The A is Anguttara. And this Anguttara Nikaya, the 4th Nikaya, most of the teachings, in fact, all the teachings there apply to lay people. Okay, how to be happy. 5 ways to get rid of anger, negative emotion. Okay. So here, section 3 to 7 is the summary, like a syllabus, right? Here, awuso, a certain person is impure in bodily conduct, but pure in verbal conduct. Awuso, resentment towards such a person should be removed. So here we have different kinds of people. This first person, the action of body is not good. It kills, steals, sexual misconduct, let's say. That's precepts regarding the body. But speech is okay. Talks very nice, very friendly. This is the first kind of person we sometimes have problems with. Number 2, the second person, impure in verbal conduct, but pure in bodily conduct. So his words are harsh and, not positive, unwholesome, break up friendship, things like that. But action, okay. Like a politician, okay? Third kind of person, impure in both ways. Speech also impure, action also impure. Then number 4, both impure in bodily conduct and impure in verbal conduct, but does not obtain an open mind, a heart of right faith. In other words, this person has no faith also. Okay? Not interested in Dharma. But number 5, right? Both pure body and speech, but the mind also open. Sometimes we also can get angry with this kind of person. How is it? We'll find out in a moment. Now, if you can't remember all the 5 kinds, never mind. It will be repeated in a moment. Let's look at the first case. Look at section 8. Here, awuso, as regards a certain person who is impure in bodily conduct, but pure in verbal conduct. How should resentment towards that person be removed? Let's say you have a friend, he breaks the first 3 precepts, or by action is not very pure, not very healthy, right? Causes you hurt. But speech very nice. This is the reflection. Look at 9.1. Avuso, just as a dust-heap monk. Okay, a dust-heap monk is a monk who follows strict rules. He only uses cloth which are thrown away, cloth from the corpses. He collect this cloth, wash them, and he boils them in astringent. You know those trees, bark of trees which are got a round color. You boil it up and then it becomes all brown color, just like the forest monk. You know? So this is called Pansakulika monk, or dust-heap monk. So this monk, seeing a shred of rag on the road, a piece of cloth thrown away, steps on it with the left foot and then spreads it out with his right, and would right there tear off the good part, taking it with him, go his way. Okay, so this is the first reflection. This monk, you see, in the Buddha's time, one of the rules the Buddha made is that he says, if the monk wants to be strict, he can live by collecting rag ropes and he will stitch them together. Okay, so you get this nice, like a baby's blanket, you know. And then it's quite rough, by the way. They don't cut nicely, you know. They stitch everything very rough. So if you're not used to it, it's very ticklish, you know. You wear this kind of rope. So they will stick all these pieces of rope, pieces of cloth together. So sometimes the cloth may be dirty or some parts are torn. So this monk will step on, say, the part which is spoiled and use the other hand to tie it. Okay, that's the reflection. Okay, so here someone bad in bodily action but nice speech. So here the meaning is you accept him on the positive side. He says nice words, remember that. Don't bother about the negative aspect, in other words. Don't bother means don't think about it, but don't act on it. Remember him as on the good side. Now we all also are like that, aren't we? Sometimes we do wrong things and then we say nice things. We want people to remember us for the good things that we do rather than the negative things. So this is the first reflection, okay? You can remember it simply as a piece of rag. Alright, the monk tears off only the good part. So it's quite easy, you know? Remember, these stories are very simple. They're meant to be a reflection, you know. So next time you get into that kind of angry mood, you're upset, remember this teaching. It helps you to calm yourself down. This is psychotherapy. You go and see some of those psychotherapists today, you pay hundreds of dollars. Sooner or later they'll teach you something like that. Okay? Imageries. Look at the second one. Towards one with impure speech but pure deeds, pure action. Okay, then look at 11.1. This is the example of the overgrown lotus lake. Also, just as there is a lotus lake overgrown with seval, this is a kind of water weed, and water plants, and a person all scorched up, overcome by heat, were to come along, tired, parched and thirsty, he would plunge into the lotus lake and with both hands push aside the sevala, the water weeds, and water plants this way and that way, and filling with his cupped hands with water, drink it and then depart. Those days they drink water from the pond like that. Yeah? So here the imagery is what? There are lots of water plants there. So this one just push away, and you got this clean water, right? And then just scoop the water up and drink it. Remember, here the analogy is not meant for you to drink water from the lake. That's not the story, right? The story is this man, he clears away the plants so that he can get the water to wash himself, cool himself. It's a very hot day, this person is parched, right? So you cool yourself. Again, here the imagery is, okay, this person, speech is very bad. Makes people feel angry, make people fight and so on, okay? But his actions are okay. Right? So again, just remember the good actions. Now this kind of people, of course, people who are close to us. You know, sometimes if you say, oh yeah, this person I know, he's good like this but bad like that, what do I do? That kind of situation. Okay? So this is the second imagery. Remember the water weeds on the top of the pond, if you like. Now the third one is towards one with impure speech and impure deeds. Body, speech, both negative. So what's the example here? Look at 13.1. the hoof-print puddle. Also, just as there is little water in a cow's hoof-print, and a person all scorched up, overcome by the heat, were to come along, tired, parched, and thirsty. And this occurred to him. Now there is a bit of water in the cow's hoof-print. If I were to use my fingers or a cup, I would disturb and muddy it up, and it would make it unfit for drinking. What now if I were to go down on all fours and drink it like a cow does, and then go my way? So he would go down on all fours, slurp it up like a cow, go his way. Okay, here again, this is psychotherapy. You're not, and Buddha is not saying you should drink water from the little pool of water. No? Again, it's here it's a hot day. Now you may think this story sounds a little strange, right? That's because we all have taps and we have nice drinking water in the kitchen. I remember when I was a secondary school boy, I just finished towards the end of my secondary school, we climbed out Mount Ophir, Gunung Ledang in Malaysia, So those low mountains, very nice to climb. And I brought with me some student friends younger than me who've never been out of their house, first time, So I told them, I said, look, we're going to the jungle. We don't have water like at home, You don't have water, you just go there, water's ready for you, It's a jungle, right? So if you drink the water, you may have no more water left. So you got to sip the water and have the water with you so that you can last the whole journey. Then when we reach the top of the mountain, or there are 3 mountains there, we will camp in the first mountain. You can boil water, but before that you can't. But this, of course, they're too thirsty and they drank everything, no more water left. Halfway, only half the journey. Can you imagine after that, no water? It's very hard to walk in the jungle without water. You may understand what I'm trying to say. On a hot day, you have to walk on a long road without any place to rest, and you have no water. It's very difficult to walk. You might even endanger your life. So then I told them, I said, wow, this is, we got no more water left, what do we do? And I was thirsty myself. Then I saw this, they have this discarded sardine can in the jungle, on the ground. And it rains very often in the jungle. So the can already washed clean. I don't know how long it is, but it was not very rusty. Actually, I said not very rusty in a sense, it does the little dots of rust there, but otherwise very clean. So I look at it carefully, I said, this water is okay. And I have to drink this, otherwise I can't go on. So I took up that can and carefully drank a bit, seems okay. And then one of my friends quickly pulled me back by my collar, said, stop drinking. I said, why? He said, don't drink all. If you die, then we're also in trouble. So he's not worried about me. He said, if I die, they can't go, they don't have to go back. Then I told him, I said, okay, I have enough water already. So now, I said, okay, I have only one strategy. We're halfway, and we'll never make it at this rate because we got only about an hour before sundown. Imagine you're dark in the jungle, you'll be in trouble because there are tigers there too. So I said, all right, we'll leave all our baggage behind. So we are 4 of us, so myself and one of them, I said we will go up to the waterfall, collect water. Then we come back, give it the water, then we all walk together. And we did just that. So that's the value of water, see? How that little bit of water in the container. So it's just like this little puddle of water. So this man is very thirsty, very hungry, very hot day. There's no water there, but there's this little hole in the soft ground, but the ground also hardened because of the sun. There's a bit of water there. So you say, if I use my finger, the moment I put my finger in, the water will be dirty already, muddy, like this, laterite soil, right? Even if I use a cup, again, this water will get stirred up and dirty. There's only one way. I have to bend down carefully and sip the water up, right? And this is what they do those days. But that's the analogy. Here the meaning is we carefully drink the water not to make it dirty. Why? In this case, this person that we know, his action is bad, speech also bad. So, you've got to be very careful. Just be mindful. Don't bother about it at all. Okay, that's the meaning here. But sometimes he keeps an open mind. Notice the last part. look at 13.6. But to the fact that he occasionally obtains an open mind, a heart of faith, so that you remember that positive aspect. Because sometimes he's kind, he maybe, comes to the temple and so on. So you find you come to a place like this, all kinds of people, right? So no matter where you go, you find there are good people, there are bad people. People are people, right? So, there are people, sometimes they work in the office, they're working in some nice jobs. Then one day they got very upset. They say, I think I'm going to give up all this office job, I think I want to become a monk, I say, why? So all these people are terrible in the office. So I say, you think people who are werewolves also, you have no problem? You see, because the problem is not with the people out there. It's how we see others. So this person has some values, ideas about people. So if you become a monk, you probably have a problem with other monks also. Remember what I said just now in the earlier part? The problem is inside us. So you got to deal with the problem inside you. This also goes with marriage, right? You find in Singapore, sometimes people marry in a hurry. They don't court. Courting is very important because courting, you begin to know each other well, make mistakes, and then you learn. And if you find the friendship doesn't work, you break up, that's fine. And then you go on making more friends, and the more friends you make as a young person, the more you learn. But if you have the idea that the first girl or the first man I meet, I must marry this person, you're heading for trouble. Because if you don't make friends first, how are you going to be friends? Some people think that after marriage we will befriend each other. But after marriage you start quarreling because you don't know each other. So this period of courting, knowing each other is very important. So that's where you begin to see, will this relationship, will this friendship work or not? Do you talk to each other, see can you accept each other, like that, right? So if you learn these things, then you begin to know how to deal with this negative aspect of other people. We all have negative aspects. You can't find the perfect person. The perfect person is probably already enlightened and doesn't want to get married anyway. So the person you choose to get married with usually has some problems. We also have some problems. So we learn how to cope with those problems, right? So in other words, a happy marriage is not one that nothing happens. That's a boring marriage, right? We quarrel, but the quarrel is not important. What happens after that is important. We accept each other. See, so that's why people can get together. People who have been living together, married a long time, they'll tell you, it's not an easy marriage, but somehow we do see something good in the other. Okay? So one of the ways is to understand these methods taught by the Buddha here. All right, so now method 4, right? Page 120. And this one is a person with impure speech, impure deeds, unpleasant mind also. Wow, body, speech, and mind all negative, huh? Okay, what is the reflection here? Look at 15.1. Also, suppose a sick person in pain, seriously ill, is traveling on the road far from the next village, far from the one behind. Okay, so this person is sick and is traveling on the road, but is stuck in between. The next village very far, the one behind also very far. He would be unable to find suitable food or suitable medicine or a proper attendant or someone to guide him to a village. A certain person would see the traveler on the road that someone comes along. Out of compassion for him, he would attend to him. Out of pity, he would attend to him. Out of kindness, he would attend to him, thinking, oh, that this man would get suitable food or suitable medicine or proper attendant or someone to guide him to the village. Why is that? So that he does not fall into any disaster or calamity. This is the action of compassion. You see someone, action is bad, words also negative, mind also negative. Wow, this person, imagine if this person dies, he will be reborn in a very unhappy state. That alone should move us, Right? We should not say like, oh goody, this guy is going to suffer, because he's bad in his life. That's terrible. That's the negative thought for yourself, right? So you must say, wow, this person doesn't realize, right? So this is where it's not easy to be compassionate. Compassion is kindness shown to people when they don't deserve it. That is why it is so difficult to do. They don't deserve it. Right? We like to say, oh, for example, in our meditation classes, there are five to 8 stages in loving kindness. Stage 4, first you do it to yourself, may I be well and happy, and then to a dear friend, and then to neutral people. The 4th stage is to enemies and people who have hurt you. That's the tough part, So, in the early years of my classes, I used to follow all these 4 stages religiously, Everybody is smiling in the first stage. First stage, very easy. Second, third, okay. 4th stage, you think enemy. Suddenly everybody looked glum. They couldn't do it. They were beginners, And during a feedback session, they say, I can't do the 4th stage. Why should my neighbor be happy? It's so noisy and troublesome, Or why should my mother-in-law be happy? Or somebody you don't like, Right? So they can't do it, see? It's because of the mind that's blocking it. So compassion is where you show your loving kindness to this neighbor who doesn't deserve it. Why? Because the neighbor is always there, outside your house. When you go out, you see him, so you can't be going out every time you see hatred. It'd be terrible, So if your neighbor is not friendly, go on saying good morning to him. Although it sounds silly, but then after all, you find he also is a bit shy, and he also says good morning to you. So out of compassion, you will make people friendly to you. Compassion is kindness to the undeserving. That's why people love the image of Kuan Yin, Anyone can go to Kuan Yin and worship. Kuan Yin doesn't select people. And that's also called motherly love. That's interesting. We don't call it fatherly love because fathers are more conditional. But mothers are unconditional. Remember the story of Angulimala? When Angulimala was in the jungle and the king was going to look for him and kill him, the mother went into the forest looking for the son to warn him, and the son already forgotten what human beings are like. He's just killing everybody. He was going to kill the mother, but the mother doesn't care. Because the mother said, my son, he's just only my son. And he's going to go and see this dangerous bandit called Angulimala. That's mother's love. And then when you do loving kindness meditation, the Metta Sutta has only one comparison, and the comparison says, imagine you are the mother and you have only one child, and you show your love to this only one child. Now you must show this love to everyone else. This is the meaning of renunciation, becoming a monk or a nun, or when you go for retreats, or when you practice meditation. Renunciation, letting go. What does it mean? It means you let go, or rather, you can use another word, you broaden this love, not just love for someone who is very special to you, but this same love, you know how it feels like to love this only child. Now try to imagine this love to all other beings. Now, if you can do that, then you become a good monk. Then you're doing your loving kindness meditation correctly. Then you are a true professional. You go and see a doctor. It's a one-to-one thing. The doctor listens to you as if you're the only person, only patient he has, and he takes care of you. So this is the teaching of loving kindness. It also means a standard of professionalism. When people come to the temple, you talk to them. You should talk to them as if they're the only one in the temple at that time. Then they say, wow, this is good. I come to this place. People talk to me as if I'm the only person there and I'm so important to them. It's just simple listening to people. So this is compassion. Compassion is loving kindness in action. Okay? So here we see this person, body, speech and mind, very negative. You got to work extra hard with compassion. Why? Because we are very fortunate we are not this person. It's not easy, but we try. Okay? That is why we are learning Buddhism. And the Buddha has been doing that all his life. Devadatta, in a sense, did not deserve to become a monk, but the Buddha accepted him. Because if Devadatta was not a monk, it would have been worse for him. He would have been a terrible person. But he became a monk, at least there was some control there. Limited damage. And the Buddha dealt with all kinds of difficult people. Okay, then we come to the last one, number 5. And this person, pure speech, pure deed, pleasant mind, very good person. But here we also can get upset with him. Why? Well, for various reasons. Maybe sometimes this person may have told us something we don't want to hear. We did something wrong, this person said you should not do it, and we felt very upset. We said, oh, my ego is hurt, or something like that. Or maybe we don't like something about this person. It could be anything, but this person is good. Body, speech, mind, all good. Well, we still can get upset with such a person. Here, look at 17.1. Avuso, just as there is a lotus lake with clear water, sweet and cool, with a beautiful stretch of white sand, shaded by various pleasant trees. This is a typical Sutta imagery of a nice place for a holiday, okay? Beautiful beach and trees. Having gone into the water, bathed and drunk, he would emerge and sit or lie down right there in the shade of the trees, right? So say imagine you go to this nice place and you feel very good. So, well, this is a good image. Right? So in other words, we should not get angry with this person, right? There's nothing negative here actually. We rejoice in this person. So this one is the third Brahma Vihara, third divine abode, gladness. Remember, you got loving kindness, compassion, gladness, right? The fourth one is equanimity. Equanimity is not mentioned here. Rejoice in the goodness of others. You see somebody doing good, say, wonderful, sadhu. Feel happy about it, remember it. Okay? So these are the 5 ways of overcoming any kind of negative thoughts. Actually, the only 4, the 5th one is a happy one. So the Sariputta says, well, you practice all this, you'll be happy, and you have no problems. So this is a very simple sutta, right? Nothing complicated. So remember, when you meet someone negative, remember the positive side. Don't worry about the negative aspect of the person. Okay, so the sutta finishes there. Let's have questions now. Question time, anything you'd like to share? Yes, sure.
These people really take advantage of us.
Okay. It depends what kind of advantage they take. I mean, if it's reasonable, fine, For example, sometimes you talk to people, they might really talk a long time to you. Just be patient. On the other hand, if you find it is something negative, then I think you can be quite firm with them and say, I'm sorry, I can do this much, but I can't do this. So in other words, be frank with them. So that way they understand you. Even if maybe they go away after that, it's okay, you've done the right thing. What I'm saying here is there is no perfect human relationship. There is always some challenge. There are no roses without thorns. So don't be afraid. You will make mistakes. Sometimes you might even say the wrong thing. Then later on, when you sit quietly by yourself, you reflect. Oh yeah, today I shouldn't have said this. Okay, this one I did right. So you reflect. Now as you do that, impermanence will help you. As you grow older, you become more confident. Yes, you did something wrong in the past, but you become better. You say, I know what I should not do. Right? So you find as we age, our confidence in dealing with people also grow. When I was younger, I find it's difficult sometimes to tell people not to quarrel, the Buddhist teachers not to quarrel, or not to attack one another, But now in my age, I find it's easier. I can say almost anything I like in a public talk, especially something true, sincere, and something that will help them. And no one else dare to say it. So I find that I have to say it because I know what's going on. But if I said that 10 years ago, or if I was someone else, probably people might get very angry, or I might get myself into a lot of trouble. I might be thrown out of the temple even, for example. But then if I don't say it, things are going to get worse. So this is where you must ask yourself, if I don't say this, will problems occur? If I say this, people might not like me, but then the people know what's wrong, problem is prevented. Okay, here we should remember this saying. It is better for us to do something right and be hated for it than to do something wrong and be praised for it. Do you agree with that? It's better to do something bad and people hate you than to do something to do something good but people hate you, something right, something good, people say why you like this or that. But then if you do something wrong, people praise you. Well, that's your future life is going to be bad, I'm not saying it's an easy thing. Sometimes, especially a Dharma teacher, you have to take a stand. Somebody talks something wrong in public, and you know it's very wrong. Wow! So the audience, hundreds of people are listening, so they might believe what this wrong thing teacher is saying. So if you are there, you got to speak out. So this is what I mean. Sometimes we need to take that stand, and if you can do that, that's called social maturity. Okay. Some people say, "Oh, just keep quiet, don't say lah." Because if you keep quiet, then people will think it's all right. There is a saying here. It's called polite fiction. Polite fiction. I don't know whether you heard of this term. Polite fiction means don't talk about bad things. Whatever, if anything happens, just keep quiet. Don't say. All right. For example, okay, I'll give a real life example. We have this seminar going on, and there are all kinds of speakers. First speaker talk like how should I say, monotone, same tone every time. And if you have insomnia, it's a very good time to listen to this talk. You fall asleep, and he spoke for 1.5 hours. Right? Next one, wow, very active in the second speaker. Third one tells dirty jokes. Fourth one attacks all the other Buddhist group except his own. Then, let's say somebody here, after the speaker finished speaking, he goes ahead and says, "Oh, very good, you gave a very good talk." All of them, he said, "Very good talk, very good talk, very good talk." Then I told myself, what is this person doing? You know very well they're not good talks, right? Okay, let's not talk about the last three, okay? Because last three complicated. Take the first one. This person, monotone, don't know how to make his voice go up and down, and don't know how to tell stories, but kind person. Now, this person you can help. So if you tell him, very good talk, that is like sugarcoating it, right? It's not true, and it doesn't help this person. So I would write a gentle email to this person and say, okay, I'm sure you put in a lot of effort into your talk, very nice slides, and you're very patient with the answers. But if you modulate your voice a bit, then it's more interesting to the audience. So that's a way of telling people how to improve themselves. I remember when I was young as a student, a lot of teachers would correct us when we did something wrong. That's how we learn, see? So this is where if you say, it's all right, my goodness, you'll be dull and stupid all your life. So this is where we cannot afford this kind of polite fiction. In other words, don't say things, then people will scold you, This is what sometimes some people tell us. It's okay to be scolded if for the right thing. So remember, it is not good to be praised for doing something bad. It's better to be hated for doing something good, if you have to choose these two. Okay, of course, if praised for doing something good, it's far better. Okay, any other question?
So there's a book on this meditation and health. I wonder, have you heard about this book?
No. What is it? Why do you ask the question? Anything? Yeah. What about the
You want to ask the thoughts on this?
Oh. Oh, this magazine. No, I've seen this magazine, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the details. Okay, so it's a company doing meditation. Okay, I'll just give a general answer. Okay. My first answer is the best meditation is the one you learn from a meditating monk in a temple. That's the original safe meditation. Yeah. Why do you have things like this? Because meditation works. Buddhist meditation works. And now the psychologists and the mind scientists are using it. So there are these people, they are commercializing on it because they know, wow, people like meditation. So they package it. They use a bit of Buddhist meditation and lots of management stuff. And you pay 10, 20 times, 40 times more. Okay? You come to a Buddhist center, sometimes you learn meditation free. Right? But you do the same thing plus other management stuff, you pay thousands of dollars. So I suspect this is if it's a commercial kind of meditation, they will just teach you a little bit, lots of pep talk, lots of management. But
they got healing also.
Of course, yeah. They put in a lot of things. So if it works for you, fine. You you can always try it. But if you have no serious problems, you want to concentrate better, you want to prepare yourself to be happy, you go to, there are many temples which have very good meditation teachers, or you can look around. So what I'm saying is the real thing need not be expensive, need not be fancy, need not be full of management staff, a pep talk, And you find, at our center, I teach the usual breath, loving kindness. There are many stories I can tell you. I just tell you one here. There's this German lady. She came for meditation, and I think she came for a personal meditation. So I taught her breath and loving kindness. At the end of the loving kindness sitting, she said, "Wow, I really enjoyed this. And this is really good." Actually, she said, then she confessed, she said that, I've learned the same method in Germany. The psychotherapist there taught me the same method. But somehow, I couldn't feel it when he taught me. And that is the main thing. She says, I can't feel it. You see, you have all these people running these meditation courses, young people, right? Look at this face, young person, yeah? So these people, they just learn, they go for some course or retreat, maybe a few weeks, In America, the MIT, the students have to do 2 weeks of meditation. And then they read books, and then, of course, they're trained medicine for many years. But 2 weeks is definitely not enough for us to teach meditation. You need to, then I realized, I said, wow, you really want to teach meditation, you must go through many years of practice yourself. If being a doctor is 7 years, I think for meditation you need the same time. Because we're not just talking about, okay, sit down, breathe in, breathe out, count, do this, do that. Anyone can do that. Yeah? Even the Google employers can do that. But you won't feel it. Teaching meditation is like conducting an orchestra. Can any one of us here step over the orchestra and start waving your hand? Everything will go haywire. You got ding dong zap here, right? You must really feel it. You must love the music. Then I realized, I said, wow, I think we really need many years of training in loving kindness, in breath meditation, so that you feel it. So it's not just the method. The teachers is very important. It's like music, like I said. So that's why she said, I can feel it. Because we go through my meditation voice and my talking voice, very different. Meditation voice calm. You remember that we had meditation before, right? So all this can be learned. So once you get into meditation mood, you're calm, you're peaceful, then you share the calmness and peacefulness with other people. Okay? So that's the guidance. Yeah? Of course you can try. Maybe they got a good teacher there and then you find it works for you. But if it doesn't work, then it's okay. Just go away, find another teacher. Yeah? We know when the meditation doesn't work, you find there's no feeling about it, you don't feel happy, things don't seem to change for the better, right? But in the Buddhist meditation, you find there are different methods. The teacher will tell you what to do, how to correct your distraction, things like that. So the Buddhist meditation method is very detailed, very complete, right? So don't waste your money with the commercial ones. In fact, I don't know, in the future, you probably got to go to Orchard Road to learn meditation. And the temples don't teach meditation anymore. We better don't do that. That's why we got to practice samadhi also, right? Sila, samadhi, panya. Moral virtue, keeping precepts, and samadhi is meditation, and then wisdom. Okay. Any other question?
Actually, from personal experience, this meditation thing, a lot of time, even myself, we went into this practice for the wrong reason. The wrong reason meaning to say we have got wrong intention of practicing certain things, looking for something. So that already the approach was wrong. So when the approach is wrong, the result comes out also wrong.
Not necessary,
No?
Do you find meditation helpful to you now?
Yeah, for example, I heard of people who wanted to meditate because of psychic power.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're always talking about psychic power.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
If you go for the wrong intention, and the teacher doesn't know it, or worse, the teacher panders you, then of course it's going to get very dangerous, not to say bad, dangerous, right? On the other hand, if the teacher is skillful, it doesn't matter. Because the teacher will gently guide you, and then you find, wow, you have something better than what you wish for. Whatever it is, do your meditation, for whatever reason, get a good teacher. If the teacher is a good one, then they will guide you in the right way, no matter what your plans or aims are. Somehow things will turn out right. I mean, well, things turn out right for you. You're regular here, you are calm, you're happy. So, all's not well, but ends well.
Yeah,
Okay.
also one of my friends actually, he did so-called meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And his attitude was towards psychic achievement. In the end, he was paralyzed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's terrible. Huh?
He was paralyzed.
Yeah, that's why such stories are really painful and very real. So you got to tell people, look, this will happen. I mean, why? I mean, if you can really get all the psychic power, you think, why go through so much trouble? You know? Yeah. Now the thing is, the teachers themselves do not have the power,
Yeah.
but maybe they teach out of greed or whatever, and then you start doing all the wrong things, you get hurt. Because remember, the mind can control the rest of the body, so we don't want to, do the wrong thing. The Buddhist meditation is always safe. You know what's the greatest danger in Buddhist meditation? You fall asleep. So when people come and say, I can't sleep, I say, oh, you come to the right place. That's the easiest to teach them. I just go into monotone. And you say, wow, this teacher very good. But our aim in meditation is to keep awake, right? Yeah. So then you different, you modulate your voice.
In this sutta, I have a personal experience with persons who are extremely harsh in verbal as well as action. But very harsh in their verbal, but the thoughts and their actions are very kind. But the other aspect of that person is that they just cannot believe you or would not believe anybody else but themselves.
Okay.
How do you deal with such people?
Very interesting. Usually such people, they have been hurt before. Somewhere, they got hurt. So they find very difficult to trust people. No, I met such people. For example is let's say a woman who's been hurt by the husband, So she broke up with the husband, very bitter. After that, she has the idea, all men are bad. And then you find you cannot communicate with her also.
Yes, very true.
Yeah, so this is not good. See, because you must let go of the past. The past is dead and gone. It's not all men are like that. Not true. That's wrong. It's false. Right? Because if you do that, then you are living in the past. So in the one of the suttas called Baddeka Rata Sutta, the Buddha said, let go of the past. It is gone. Let go of the future. It has not yet come. Watch the present moment as it rises and falls. Okay? So one way is if you are patient and this person is a long-term friend, family member, just listen, be nice to this person. And over time, one day this person will come to you and say, how come you are nice to me? Sometimes I talk to you very harsh. Then you know, oh, this person, people notice things. That's one, slow way, patient way. Another way is you can, at the right time, you can tell this person, I noticed that when you talk, there's so much pain in it. Were you hurt in some way in the past? I mean, if you like to talk about it, I will try to listen to you. So this is a second way, right? So these are two ways you can. A third way is you don't have to do anything. Constantly do your loving kindness. Send happy thoughts to this person. May you feel happy. May you open up your mind and your hearts to people. You do this regularly because when the person sees you in the face, when you do loving kindness meditation, you begin to show a kind of radiance. Not noticeable to everyone, but there is this sense of peace. Especially people who are close to you. So when they look at you, they can, in a manner of speaking, read your face. They know, wow, this person's face, very nice, very kind. And somehow they feel okay when they look at you. That's the loving kindness way. You try this. Because some people say, how can it work? Well, thoughts are powerful, There are stories people have told me, they do loving kindness, next day somebody emailed them for them, say, I was thinking about you. And the Buddha has taught us loving kindness, right? So that's the third one, or all three. You can try all three. In counseling, I teach all of these methods. Yeah. Okay, any other question? Still a bit of time.
I attended one meditation class a very long time ago, and this teacher emphasized on attaining jhana.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of us couldn't do that. So some
Okay.
of them, I don't know whether it's true or not. Oh, I've reached the first stage. Everybody impressed. The rest of us look at each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, after some
Yes.
time, I think some of us also give up.
Very true.
So I think, yeah, right. Yeah, it depends a lot on the teaching by the teachers.
Yes.
So some they emphasize on like breath is okay. But some they just want it to be glamorized to be.
Yeah.
You must attain the fourth jhana at least.
Right.
And when you reach the fourth jhana, whoa, you'll be like,
So the teacher's claiming that he has attained that level. Huh?
yeah.
The point is, when you attain fourth jhana, you're not arahant yet. I mean, you can still fall and come down, because Devadatta attained the jhana, he got psychic powers, but he fell from that state. Yes, there are some teachers who teach that way, and there are some teachers who tell you, don't meditate. That's the other extreme. I know, recently I heard someone said, oh, I went to this temple, the teacher said, laymen should not meditate. I said, where did I hear that from? I mean, where in the suttas? So that's the other extreme. So I think the best way is middle way. Meditation, first thing we've got to understand is not everybody can attain jhana. For the simple reason, if you're really busy and your mind is in your work, you can't attain jhana. Because jhana, you really need long hours of calm focus, long retreat for months, not just weeks, even years maybe. So here, when we learn meditation, if a good teacher will tell you, learn to calm yourself. Whether you can attain jhana or not doesn't matter. Learn to calm yourself. Even you don't know jhana, you can still attain stream winning once return. But you want non-return arahathood? Yes, you need jhana. So you don't need jhana to attain awakening in this life. If you talk about stream winning, see, I mean that means the first stage sainthood. You don't have to do jhana. See, so this is where depends on what the teacher emphasizes. But I think the good teacher will be open, and then deal with the student step by step. And sometimes you talk about jhana, people get frustrated. They say they can't attain jhana, and they got so fed up, and then they start thinking that's all Buddhism offers. Then that's wrong view already. So I don't think it's good to say everybody must attain jhana or everybody should not meditate. So these two extremes must be avoided. Middle way is we tell people, if you know how to calm your mind, you learn to be at peace with yourself. Try your best to do that. Be mindful. See? Now you all sit here quietly for 1.5 hours here. There is at least some level of mindfulness there. You could be doing so many other things on a Sunday like this, but here you are sitting peacefully. So you've done something good here. The next thing is to remember this. So next time you're sitting quietly at home meditating, you say, okay, I spent this quiet moment here, and while I'm here, I've kept all the 5 precepts right now. You are not killing, you're not stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, no drinking. Right? We have recited the precepts. So you are reflecting on moral virtue, sila nusati. This is one kind of meditation, just reflecting on this action of non-doing. As long as you don't do these 5 things, you reflect, you say, wow, that's wonderful. I didn't break any of the precepts. And then you feel peaceful. You have started becoming peaceful already. And then you go from there, breath meditation, loving kindness. Then the Buddha has a secret weapon. It's something very interesting. It's called Devata Anusati. Recollection on the gods. I've not met any Buddhist who do this one. Then I realized, the Buddha taught this for the God believers. I said, one day you get a God believer, can be any religion, and we get non-Buddhists coming for the classes at mining center also, And some of them may come to me quite honestly say, I'm not a Buddhist, I'm a God believer, how can I be a Buddhist? Then I'll teach them this secret weapon the Buddha gave us. I say, okay, you sit quietly, and you think of all the good qualities of your God, not the war fighting and all this nasty stuff, A happy, kind God. And then you can see the person is happy, smiling. Okay, once you feel very peaceful with this God, which is Devata Nusati, now you're peaceful, forget about that God, watch the breath. See, because this recollection of the three jewels. Number 4 is recollection of dana. When you give something, you feel happy. That's another reflection, another recollection. And number 4 is precept, silanusati. Number 5 is devatanusati, on the gods. So you can use this to help these people who are God believers. Then later they found they're so peaceful, they find they don't need to believe in the God idea. So this is why the Buddha taught this 5th secret weapon. Okay, so these are all wonderful, skillful means. Okay, there's somebody behind that. Something. Any other question? We still have a few more minutes.
Continuing on this jhana issue, what's the, I mean, how does one feel when you reach jhana?
Okay. Now I'm not going into deep jhana, but I have really wonderful, peaceful experiences. In meditation, you're dealing with body and mind. First stage is you let go of the body by sitting quietly, close your eyes, don't bother about sound. You are shutting down the 5 senses. Okay? Why? Because the 5 senses distract us in 5 ways. You see something, you got to deal with it. Hear something, you got to deal with it. So we are distracted in 5 ways. And then you got the mind, number 6. It's like having 6 phones all ringing at the same time. No wonder we get stressful. So we shut down the 5 senses when we meditate. That's why we sit very quietly. So that we deal only with the mind. Then we use the breath. Okay? Breath is best. Because the breath becomes more and more peaceful. At first the breath is physical. It's bodily. You feel the breath coming in, going out. Then as it becomes more peaceful, you don't notice the breath. But it's there, very subtle. That's mental breath. So the breath can switch from physical to mental. Now once it becomes mental, you might not even notice it. You feel very peaceful. You don't feel the body anymore. You feel very joyful because the body, no more pain, no more feeling. It's just mental joy. Jhana is something like that. Total joy, no feeling of the body. In fact, it is said that if someone in deep jhana, you poke with a needle, he won't feel anything because he has let go of the body already. It's just pure mind. Okay? But of course, after you come out, you'll feel it. Right? So don't try. It's just saying, that you don't feel pain. See? Right? So imagine all your bodily pains, everything gone. It's just pure mental joy. That's an example of jhana. And there are 4 levels, And the various theories about it. If you want to read about it, you can email me. I'll send you the article. This describes to you all the 4 jhanas in some detail. And also how to attain it. Right? There are methods.
I suppose once you are in it, you will know, as you go along.
When you're in it, you won't know it. Because you're so joyful, you just kind of go on meditating. You come out of it, then you look back and say, oh yeah, that was really peaceful. Then you know it's jhana. Yeah. Yes. But if you can't get it, it's okay. Even something simple like reflecting on impermanence, you find you feel confident, you don't feel scared, because you keep telling yourself everything's impermanent. So you're not shocked by someone died or your body changed. One of my friends, I've not seen him for just a few years, young man, and come back after a few years, see all white hair on the head. Say, wow, impermanence, right? So you're not shocked, you see. Right? So the reflection of impermanence is very good meditation. If you do this regularly, then your, what they call this habitual karma will make you feel fearless and calm. And when the last moment comes, the Buddha says you will definitely attain at least stream winning, first stage sinful. If you don't attain that, then the chances are you might be born in a lower state, which is not good, subhuman state. As a preta, as an animal or hell being or asura, is not helpful at all. Because in those realms, you can't perform good karma. Those realms are all suffering realms. So we don't want to fall into that realm. So the kind of habits we do now will reflect the future life. So if you live regularly violent, you'll be reborn in a hell being state where it's all violence. If you're caught up in the gambling den all the time, getting excited, you want to win this, win that, but never getting it, what realm would that be? Preta realm. You know the Preta realm? Hungry ghosts? Yeah, because hungry ghosts, they see food, but they cannot eat it. It never be satisfied. It's addictive. So remember how your mind behaves now. Body is human, but mind is not always human. Now our minds are human. Okay, if you're happy and your mind is a bit divine, like you feel like heavenly, when you do your meditation, you do loving kindness. Those are divine qualities. And if you are the kind of person who likes to cheat people, who goes around looking, oh, this guy very good victim, cheat old ladies, con people, then you become an asura next life, right? So what you do now, how you deal with your mind will go on after life, you see. The mind continues after death. The body dies. So your mind will become what you regularly act now. How you act, your habit now, will become you. Karma is not just punishment. It's not punishment and reward, That's a not correct view, actually. You become the karma that you do. The karma that you do becomes you. Okay? So that's why we've got to be positive. And loving kindness is the best cure or defense against karma.
Antidote.
Sort of, yeah. In fact, if you regularly do loving kindness, there's one sutta which says your bad karma will be limited to this life. Because if you have good karma, you have loving kindness, you will tell yourself, may this person be well and happy. You don't want to take revenge. People say something nasty to you, you say it's okay, I'm happy with myself. Then bad karma won't act on you. This karma will not continue. If Angulimala go on killing, then he will go on suffering next life, will continue to be someone who is evil also. There are many stories, about bad people. They are helped by the monks, by the Buddha. I've just finished one paper, 56 pages, on death and the karma and the afterlife, where I explain what are pretas, how do people die, how a public executioner, even a drunkard, became Srimvina, went to heaven. If you want this paper, just write to me, I'll send it to you. I've just finished this in volume 48. So here there's one very interesting story. A public executioner died and went to heaven. How is that possible? And this guy is a very nasty person, He's called Tamba Datika. He is a fierce-looking guy, very violent-looking. So he had nowhere to go. So he turned for help to a group of about 499 thieves. But the leader looked at him and said, wow, this guy, you cannot trust, very dangerous. So he refused to accept him. But he was very clever, very cunning. He made friends with all the other robbers. And they liked him so much, they said, oh, we must have him, So the teacher got outvoted. The leader, gang leader, robber leader got outvoted, so he joined the group. And so they went around robbing, killing, and so on. Then they all were caught by the king, all 500. Then the king said, all will be executed. But nobody in the city, in the kingdom, dared to execute them. Too many. So in the end, the king said, okay, which one among you thieves can execute the rest? Then I will release you. None of the thieves want to kill their own brothers, except this, right, this terrible guy, Tamba Datika. He says, I will. So can you imagine, he was helped, given refuge by these robbers, but he was willing to kill his own refuge, his own people. So he killed them all. And he became prosperous, was supported by the king. He became the public executioner. So in his life, up to 55 years old, he killed about 2,000 people. Then he became very old. So old that he couldn't carry the axe properly. He couldn't chop with one chop. Can you imagine how terrible it is? So he had to do 2-3 chops. If you saw the story of Henry VIII, you see this gruesome thing also, this story, these head choppers. If they don't aim well or they're not good, then it's terrible. So he had to retire. Now once a public executioner retires, what is he going to do? He won't come to a Buddhist temple, would he? This is in the Buddha's time, the story goes. So Sariputta, very compassionate monk, the most compassionate of the monks besides the Buddha. So he went to meditation, that he saw that day he can help this man, public executioner. So Sariputta goes to see him for dana, alms food. So this executioner gave him a bit of his food, and then Sariputta talked to him, and of course his story came out. He said, no, I'm a public executioner. How can I ever, don't talk about acting awakening, how can I ever come out of my karma? Then the Buddha counseled him. This is prison counseling. I'm running a course for prison counselors. Sariputta says, okay, you have killed so many people, but did you plan this killing or what? Then the man said, no, I didn't plan this thing. The king made me do it. The king ordered me to do it. Sariputta said, okay, now I want you to remember this. You didn't intentionally kill. You were doing the order of this king. So this was a skillful means Sariputta used, Now this story is not in the sutta, it's in a commentary, see. So this man reflected, said, okay, he felt very happy, he felt very safe, said, oh, this is good. A great weight has been lifted from his head. I didn't intentionally kill, I didn't enjoy the killing, I was made to kill. If you look at this in a real strict karma sense of word of the karma, there's no hope for this guy. But Sariputta helped him by teaching him how not to think about those negative thoughts in a way which is effective. It doesn't mean it always work, For example, if someone who's not a good teacher or not a meditator teach this and say, hey, I know this story in the Buddha's teaching, it's okay if you kill, You just don't think about it, you'll be okay. It's unlikely to work. It's unlikely to, because it's how you do it. Because the first thing is, the person must be repentant, must be contrite. Contrite means, oh yeah, I feel really bad, I should not have done this. Okay, that's when you're contrite. So I think in the case, we're talking about an arahat helping this public executioner, he was contrite. So when he died, he was at peace with himself, and he was reborn, probably into Sutta heaven. So this is one beautiful story. There is hope. It's a story you can tell to the prisoners. There's still hope. You can change. Right? Then there's another story about this man who was a drunkard who became a stream winner. When the Buddha declared he was a stream winner, the Sarakani, the monks protested. Some of the monks said, how can it be? We all know this guy is a drunkard. How can he be a stream winner? Then the Buddha said, well, you must understand, in his last moment, he practiced the teaching. Last moments. So in other words, you may have made a mistake earlier in life, but you can still calm yourself. In the moment of dying, be at peace with yourself. Reflect on impermanence. Then even a drunkard can become a stream winner. If a drunkard can become a stream winner, all of you here have a chance to be a stream winner, isn't it? If you reflect on impermanence. Okay? Yeah.
See, you mentioned about loving kindness many times. In fact, all of us talk about loving kindness. In the loving kindness Metta Sutta, whereby I chant every day. And each time I chant, it's repeating, but all the time repeating, sometimes I get something out of it. It's just some insight, so to speak.
It seems to speak to you.
Yeah. And it's something that I've been doing every day. But sometimes something strikes me.
Yes.
I just realized, how can I not thought of this?
Yeah.
And yesterday I was talking to a friend, and he told me about these last 4 verses in the Metta Sutta. See, which I've penned down. He said, not falling to error, virtuous and endowed with insight, discuss attachment to sensuous desire. Truly it does not come again to be conceived in the womb. This last 4 verses.
That one is the insight section.
Yeah,
insight,
so not come back, not to be born in the womb. Meaning to say you
not to be reborn.
Not be reborn. Are you saying not be reborn?
Correct. That means if you practice loving kindness and then you switch to insight, you can attain awakening.
So not be reborn, does it mean not be reborn, womb birth, but
it just means
it
just means won't be reborn. That means attain arahathood. It's possible. You're possible to be awakened, not by loving kindness itself, but you switch from loving kindness, because loving kindness gives you peace of mind. Loving kindness, I think, at the most you can reach your 2nd jhana. So, in fact, you don't have to reach jhana. You just calm yourself, and then you switch to insight. This loving kindness is mind-made, it's impermanent, you reflect that way. And that is the basis for your awakening. Okay? Remember, it's not immediately, but it's the basis. If you direct your mind to insight, wisdom, in other words, you reflect on impermanence, then it follows, you will be awakened. Yeah.
So it says not falling in error, virtuous and
There you are. Yes. Virtuous, that means you keep the precepts well, right? Virtuous, okay. Then not falling into wrong views. Your mind is clear, samadhi and so on. It's already obvious, if the views are clear, next step is arahathood. So it's talking about, say, if you do loving kindness and then you direct it to wisdom, to insight, you get awakening.
So which means that loving kindness practice can go into insight of
Not by itself.
virtues, huh?
Yeah, not by itself, but as a basis. True. The loving kindness brings you calmness, samatha. You use that calmness to look for insight. Loving kindness is like a big jug of water. You see through it, the muddy water, and then you are calm, then everything settles. That's loving kindness. Then you look inside. That is insight. You look inside, everything's clear. So loving kindness clears our mind. Then we direct insight. That's normal. That's different. That's higher than loving kindness.
So you're talking about through using that to enter into vipassana.
Correct. Yeah, that's another way of saying it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then detach from all attachment.
Correct. Letting go of
It's
views.
a wonderful
Yes,
practice.
exactly. Yeah.
Metta loving kindness.
That is why I've been saying there are times when you just recite the sutta, don't think about it, recite but be mindful. Be mindful but don't think. That means let the words flow through your mind, you know the meaning, then you notice suddenly something strikes you. Wow, something beautiful comes to your mind. Sometimes it comes in your dream, sometimes it comes when you're just waking up. Because your mind is in the loving kindness. Your mind is preparing ground for something beautiful. Your mind is preventing greed, hate, delusion from arising. So obviously something happy will arise. So this is to chant with feeling. Same thing in music, they tell you play with feeling. That means don't think about the music. Thinking means what? You process an action using words. Meaning, for example, you see something, you think about it, and so on. You may chant the sutra, but after a while, the words are like automatic, but the meaning is clear in your mind. In fact, you don't even have to chant it. The meaning just appear in your mind. Right? So that becomes a meditation by itself. Yeah. Once you feel peaceful, no need to chant anymore. Just let the loving kindness flow in you. When you feel very nice, very peaceful, just stay with it. Stay with it. Smile at it. Maybe you can whisper peaceful, peaceful, or happy. Happy also can. Just keep that bliss, that happiness steady. And no need to chant on it. You maintain the peacefulness. Okay? That means the loving kindness has become real. Okay? And then you find it's really wonderful. Okay? Okay, any last question? Finish, huh? No more questions, huh? Okay, so it's 2:19, sure, huh? Okay. Yeah, so we sit down quietly just to close this session. This is a time when we spend a quiet moment to remember this very precious time we have spent with the Dharma, sitting here peacefully, trying to discover some truth within ourselves. And we are listening to many wonderful testimonies, feedback from people, to enrich our lives with true happiness. These are things which will come back one day to help us when we face difficulties. The Dharma is easily forgotten because we have so many things in the world we need to do. But moments like this must be remembered. So this is the time we spend just to let this wonderful memory sink into our minds, to our hearts. This reflection itself is a very wonderful, very good example of mental karma, good mental karma. By the power of such good karma, may we be well and happy in this life itself, right here and now. May we be free from all problems. Whatever problems that come, we can deal with them, we can learn from them to be better people. By the power of all this good karma and many other good things we have done, keeping the precepts, practicing generosity, studying the suttas, teaching others Dharma, and many other good things, may we attain spiritual liberation in this life itself, especially at least stream winning. In this moment of peace, let us share our loving kindness with all the beings here, with everyone here, especially people who come here, work here, people we know. May they be well, may they be happy, may they walk the right way. Let us also send our loving kindness to our loved ones, our relatives and friends. May they be well, may they be happy. And also to those whom the Dharma has not touched, may they see the Dharma for themselves and be free from suffering. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.